Hey, Forge fans, it's the Forge Audio Network. I'm Anthony Urciuoli, your digital host. And these are your three keys to the match presented by Volkswagen. Forge FC on the road at York Lions Stadium to take on York United. 7:30 kickoff on Friday. Now, both clubs looking to erase some struggles as of late. For York, I mean, really, it's been a season-long struggle. But they're an odd team, and we'll get more into that. They're really an anomaly, and it's kind of fascinating when you dig deeper into York. But York, they've lost two in a row, but they've also, before that, they had a couple of draws, they had a loss. Forge looked unbeatable and looked to be able to score at will through a stretch there, and they've come down over the last couple of weeks. Clean sheets against, pair of 1-0 losses at home. And so now Forge back on the road, although they don't have to travel very far to York. Let's jump in here. Key number one for Forge FC. Final third finish. I mentioned Forge scoring at a ridiculous clip. I mean, really not a sustainable clip. I mean, if you're scoring 3-4 goals a match, it's just complete utter domination. Now, Forge has done that for stretches. Now, to sustain that throughout a season, it's difficult. So it's tough to, the bar has been set so high, especially if you're a fan. But the final third finish, it hasn't been there. The opportunities are there. The possession's there. They're getting into the box. They're making their runs. There's that extra little touch, that one extra touch, a tenth of a second decision that's being made. And they're waiting too long. They're waiting too long. The opportunities are there. For Forge FC to finish without a shot on target, and I mean, the opportunities for clean shots were there from within distance, and they've taken that extra touch, and they've had defenders close on them and just haven't been able to get the shots through. So Forge is going to want to work on that final third finish and get rid of that extra touch when it's not needed. Rely on those instincts, up that tempo. The quality is there on this club up front, and I don't think Forge is concerned about their lack of scoring as of late, but they do want to get back to it. Key number two, persistent press. This is when York has the ball. Now, this is when I said York is fascinating. And if you watched or listened to the match day preview for this match, you'll have an idea of where I'm going with this. But if not, buckle in. It's unbelievable. Expected goals this season for York United. I happen to have access to the advanced stats. Expected goals are essentially situations where a player from that club is in a position to score a goal, and it depends on where the shot's coming from, what kind of shot, is it contested. All those things are factored into whether that chance should go in. Expected goals for York this year, 15 in total. Now, it's nothing amazing. It would still put them near the bottom of the league. Actual goals they've scored this season, 7. So they're scoring at worse than 50% of their expected goal rate. I mean, that's unheard of. You have clubs that are a goal or 2, maybe 3 off of their expected goal. But to be this far, from 15 to only 7 actually going in, it means they're getting their chances. They're getting in position. I mean, you talk about finish. There's been, finish has, it's been none of it on York side. So persistent press. We've seen Forge do this against clubs, and they'll press defenders. They'll press the ball. Forge is very good at getting the ball back, even when they turn the ball over. Their rate at which they get the ball back in their possession after losing it, and the way it's measured is if a club is getting the ball back within 6 seconds of them losing it. Forge is up over 45% of the time, which leads the league. Almost half the time, Forge is able to recover the ball within 6 seconds. It's incredible. And a lot of that has to do with tempo and making the right reads. And if you're playing a club like York, who, by the way, they are not a great passing team. Their successful pass completion rate, it's at 78%. By comparison, Forge is at 85%. Now, they lead the league. But York is the second worst team when it comes to successful pass percentage. They're only completing 78% of their passes. They're not that kind of team. They're not a possession team. They're not a build from the back type of team. In fact, most of York's chances this season have come 1v1, taking guys on 1v1. York is actually the top team in the league when it comes to successful 1v1. They're beating their men. But how long can you rely on that? At some point, especially when you're playing a club like Forge who's going to prepare. I mean, all the teams are going to prepare, but we know what Bobby Smirniotis can do from a tactical side of things and when he has some time to prepare. Forge is going to... everyone has access to these stats. If York isn't accurate with their passing, if they typically means they're not good, they're going to be even less accurate if they're under constant duress and under constant pressure. Forge can force a lot of turnovers against this club if they are persistent with their press. A lot of times it just comes down to one team playing at a higher tempo than the other, and Forge has the horses to do that, and this will be an opportunity for them. That's the second key, persistent press for Forge FC. Key number 3 for Forge: shining stars. We know that Forge have the guys that can do it, that can score goals. We know who they have up front. They have Borges, they have Chouanier, Emery Welshman, Pacius, Taron Campbell. They've been able to get offense from guys like Noah Jensen this year. There are guys that can score. There's no issue there. But the Stars haven't produced. I mean, no one's produced in the last couple of games, but those guys specifically are who you're relying on to find their offense. And these are the guys that are taking heavy touches or that extra touch that is not necessary. The Stars need to shine again like they were prior to this 2-game stretch. Shining stars, key number 3. All right, those are your 3 keys to the match for Forge FC as they take on York United Friday, 7:30 at York Lions Stadium. There is an away supporter section for Forge FC fans that would like to attend, so get onto Ticketmaster and get your tickets. York has struggled this season, and so unsurprisingly, attendance has wavered a bit, so plenty of opportunity for Forge fans to get their tickets and turn it into a Forge home game. Keep it locked onto the Forge Audio Network. Like I mentioned, you can go back and listen to the match day preview. Also, this week's focus on Forge was on location at the Forge Youth Soccer Skills Clinic. So you can listen to that. Otherwise, the next time we'll talk is the match in review following the Forge and York match. All right, we'll talk to you.
We are the Forge, the mighty, mighty Forge. Just don't think you understand.
Forge FC is ready, and now you are too. This has been 3 Keys to the Match on the Forge Audio Network. Keep up to date on your Forge FC by subscribing to the Forge Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.